All right. Welcome to GUFON, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Saturday, March 8th, 2025. Are you alive? Welcome to GUFON, everybody. That's right, it's Saturday, and we're on time. I knew I wouldn't let you down. I could have, but I didn't. I came out with guns a-blazing. Look at this. I accidentally shaved off a little too much. It's okay. Tonight, I'm glad you're here because we're just going to talk. That's it. I want to talk about anything and everything that I feel necessary. I do that every night, I know. But I think, we can include other things to talk about, maybe, like this clock. Oops, your mother's got no necks. Come on. Oh, you see? This is why you don't play with stuff. It's why we can't have nice things either. How did I get it up there in the first place? What? Yeah. But the government, if they don't lie, will be in a lot of trouble. Because once you tell the world, and this goes for any country, once you tell the world you have this technology, everybody's going to want to see it. And they won't stop until they do. And guess what? You admit that you have that stuff and you don't show anybody for a reasonable amount of time. You don't show us the evidence. We're coming to get it. And don't you think China or Russia or Iran and all those places would want our technology? If we came out and said, yeah, we got it, man, and we're trying to make the best weapons possible. Can you please tell us what the technology is, please? No. Can you please tell us what your technology is, please? No. Say, man, my man, what's this technology? Oh, we'll tell you. They'll never figure it out anyway. That's the joke, Johnny. All right, we'll talk about a lot of stuff tonight. I hope you're happy. I hope you're alive. I hope you're praying to your universe, God, because it does work. God is the universe is God, and we have a piece of God in each one of us. Why the hell do you think they say He made us in His image? Wow. Really? God looks like this? Poor sap. Who's here tonight? Marcel. How are you? Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Dan Peters. How you doing, 117? Good to see you. Sky Allen. Hey, how you doing? Kelly Lewis. Boop. How you doing? Thor Panku. How you doing? My angel, the GUFON angel. Juge Age. Jeanette. Angel, everybody. Dan Peters. What do you say to it, Chief? Henry Sterling. How you doing, HS? That's weird. It doesn't go good, HS. It's too difficult. HS? Mr. Sterling, welcome to the show. It's going to be a tough night tonight. Not a lot of people are going to be here because of the weather. Yeah, it's really good. If I didn't say your name, doesn't mean I don't love you. There's only 8 people here, so we'll say hi as we go along. Yeah, you guys are here because you know. It's 7-Eleven. Do you know where Circle K is? Thank you. All right. I'm going to do what I want this show. Okay? Usually I try to make you guys happy. I have no idea if it works. I don't know. I know I talk too much, you think, in the videos. But you guys, if you have a YouTube channel and you don't stop it every 20 to 30 seconds, if you don't have permission to use a video and you're using it fair use wise, you have to pause it. You just can't run long clips, which is why I talk every 20 to 30 seconds, because I have to. I don't want to. And you may notice when I play third phase of moon clips, I don't interrupt. Because I can play, I have permission. Jean Ward, Mars, I can play him all day. A couple of others too, I can play them all day long. But some of them I can't, and I have to fair use them. And it bothers me as much as it bothers you to hear this during those videos. Trust me, I hate when people do it, and I hate that I have to do it. I'm working on it, though. It's much better, I think. Just trying to make everybody happy. It's an impossible task, but I care about everybody. You know, to an extent, I want to make everybody happy. I can only do so much is what I'm saying. All right, let's get show on the road. So, I have a couple of friends in this field, and a lot of them, when I first met them, and I'm not talking about third phase, I'm talking about people that I've known for a decade or more. We used to collaborate a little bit here and there. Used to have guests on. Remember those days? And I'm going to get some guests back. I think we need to go that route. I think this has run its course, and I'd like to see a different type of show. However, I can't do it every single day. I'm going to have to do this show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm going to give to Rich Saves, because Rich Saves is what's going to save this channel. But 80% of my work goes to GUFON, 20% goes to RSA. It's not hard to do either one of these. It's just time consuming. But, you know, the way the economy's been, you know, we all feel it. And I just can't survive the way things have been going, so I have to do other things. Now, there's some good news on the horizon, I think, where the monetary shit may not mean that much anymore. So hopefully we'll find out in about a month or so. But I'm working on some things, some projects that can, you know, like documentary here or there. I'm working on my own documentary, which isn't to be sold on Netflix. But I want to make a documentary just about my experience in the field. So I want to see how that goes. And Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal is going to help me. We're going to collaborate on that. He's doing a lot of other projects. I mean, we're doing stuff behind the scenes. It's just takes forever. And when you rely on other people and they don't stick to their end of the bargain, like due dates and reading articles and can you get this to me tomorrow and never get it at all shit. You know what I mean? So it's just very frustrating when you do rely on other people and they don't come through, especially when the promises were made, I won't fuck you over type of shit, and they fuck you over. So, and I don't talk about this stuff because, you know, why get anybody thinking, oh, he's going to have a documentary out soon? Oh, I can't wait. And it never does, because I do that all the time. Hey, we're going to have this, that, and the other thing, and nothing happens. I'm tired of it too, guys. Yeah, it sucks. All right. Well, I'm just letting you know we're working hard. I'm trying everything I can to get GUFON excited, to make it a fun place to be. Anyway, Greer, wow, this guy, he can't stop. He is on the tour. I think this might be his last hurrah for Greer. in the UFO world. This might be his last year in this field, like giving it his all. Well, here's a video clip I'm going to play. It's from Grant Levac on X. And it says here, if Greer lied about meeting with and briefing the Australian Minister of Defense in 2013 on UFOs, one must ask the question, what else has he lied about? Oh my God. Grant, probably about 80%. I think Greer, 85. Here's what I think Greer's all about. Greer gets this information. He gets excited, thinks the research is done because people do it for him, takes their word for it, and then he makes these predictions and they don't come true based on hearsay. That's the problem in this field. People don't do the research. As much research as Greer does, he does miss a lot of shit and he does lie. Now, whether he's lying intentionally, I know that sounds weird because usually a lie is intentional. He could be given misinformation, wrong information, bad information, and given it to us based on the credibility of the people he's getting it from. In his mind, everybody he talks to that he gets information from is a credible person if I'm repeating it to you. Because I vetted them. I know everything and everybody. I'm the best. I'm Dr. Greer. Dr. Greer! Right? So he thinks because he's got that doctor, he's smarter than everybody. And we see the ego. He can't take constructive criticism the first time, second time, or third time. This guy needs to have constructive criticism beaten into him. That's because the ego won't allow him to look at other things that may benefit him. No, it's his way or the highway. And that's another problem in ufology. Everybody thinks they know everything. Everybody thinks they got the answer. Everybody thinks they have the evidence. And when it comes down to it, they're lying. They're trying to make money off a lie. And they have no experience in the field when they said they did. Terrible place to be. Terrible place. And I don't like Greer anymore. I'm done with him. As a matter of fact, I tried for third phase. I did because, they work with him and, you want to have good relationship. Even if your friends don't talk to Greer, you want your friends to not ruin, a good thing. And I kept quiet and I tried to understand Greer. But when I step away from it and I see it from this position of not trying to make people happy, I see the true Greer, and that is the grifting charlatan. He looks the part, he talks the part, but he never brings us shit.
Dr. Stephen Greer.
He's like Alex Jones, just worse.
Greer made the following claim.
When I briefed and met with the Minister of Defense,
which is bullshit. This guy's a fucking...
Great Britain, he had the same story to tell, that even though he was head of the MOD and with that MI5 and MI6, he was not given information on this subject. Same thing with the Minister of Defense of Canada and the Minister of Defense of Australia, with whom I met about 10 years ago.
This claim is further supported by a document within Dr. Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive, specifically Archive Entry 10744, which alleges that the Australian Minister for Defence for the period of 14 September 2010 to 18 September 2013 was an inverse witness. Now, what is an inverse witness, you might be asking? Well, who better to offer an explanation than Dr. Stephen Greer himself?
Inverse witnesses are the ones who should know about this, who don't. They're more important than the ones who know about it, because that's how you prove the operation's illegal. I mean, if you're the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency or CIA or the president or chairs of these key committees, and you're not told anything or you're threatened when you inquire, that is proof that the operation is illegal. And that then liberates everyone who wants to talk about this. But
that's not proof. What that is compartmentalization and keeping that person out of the loop so they only know so much. That's how I look at it. See, depends on who you are. It's all perspective.
You have to have that fund of knowledge and the proof, and I have it in my archive.
You might
Funny, huh? We never see it.
also be wondering, well, who was the Australian Minister for Defence for the period referenced
Watch.
in the Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive entry? A quick search on Wikipedia confirms that the Australian Minister of Defence was Stephen Smith, who currently serves as Australia's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. If we're to further entertain Dr. Stephen Greer's claim, do we know that Dr. Greer was even in Australia in 2013? We do. And how do we know? He told us. A Facebook post by Dr. Greer on the 16th of August 2013 confirms that he was scheduled to attend the Australian premiere of his documentary film Sirius, followed by a lecture that very same day.
However,
other Facebook posts made by followers of Dr. Stephen Greer further confirmed that the film premiere, a lecture, and subsequent two-day workshop were scheduled to take place at Bond University on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia.
however,
Dr. Greer even scheduled a private CE5 contact expedition a little less than an hour southwest of the Gold Coast at Springbrook Mountain. Sources close to Dr. Stephen Greer posted on public blogs that Dr. Greer was even scheduled to attend a private meeting with Australian government officials at an island, possibly Hamilton Island or
Epstein.
some other island in the Whitsundays, approximately 2 hours north of the Gold Coast by plane. But the all-important question is, did this meeting between Dr. Stephen Greer and the Australian Minister for Defence Stephen Smith ever take place? Is Dr. Greer's claim fact or fiction? To help answer this question, I submitted a FOIA request to the Independent Parliamentary Expense Authority and secured for release a copy of the travel expenses for the Australian Minister for Defence Stephen Smith for the months of August 2013 and September 2013. And just what do those travel expenses show? Well, they show that for the months of August 2013 and September 2013, the Australian Minister for Defence Stephen Smith didn't even travel to the state of Queensland. So did Dr. Stephen Greer lie about his engagement with the Australian Minister for Defence?
However, is it possible, Mr. Journalist, that Greer did the briefing internet? Did the briefing internet? He did the briefing on the internet. Could he have done it that way? That's not secure, my peeps. I mean, yeah, we're going to do it on an open server and we're going to talk about top secret or secret stuff. Nah. Greer lied. I think he's only briefed one president, and it was through a mediator, I think. I mean, come on. It's over for Greer. It's over for Greer. Sadly. I think it's over for Greer. I think what we're seeing is Greer shooting every single bullet he has to try to maintain some sort of credibility in this field, and he's just turning into a bigger liar than we've ever imagined. Finally, people are listening to what I've been talking about. This guy never briefed anybody. Where's the evidence? There's not one handshake, not one picture, not a selfie, not a signature. Did I say that? There's nothing. Same with Eleganzo. These people are just there. Like, we're here. They're just there. They're in the ether. They're just filling in. They're just filling in the imaginary blanks that the government wants us to see. And Greer is playing his hand off of that by trying to stay relevant when nothing else is happening in the field. I'm going to take this opportunity to be everywhere and all at the same time. Because that's what he's doing. There's too much Greer out there lately. It's a lot of Greer. I want to show you my goods. Now, I want to show you this UFO video. I think this is the one that's real. This looks real. I don't think I showed this, though. I will, so Whistleblower on X says, I will now authenticate video of a real anti-gravity repulsion craft. This is not CGI, this is not a hoax, and this is not mistaken identity. See, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like it. It skipped. Like, watch. It goes. Like, why did it go from there and then there? I get it. I know what people are going to say, and I'm saying it too. See, this is what bothers me. A real UFO will look like this, guys. And we won't know if it's real or fake. We won't know. I'm going to say this is fake only because of the way the cameraman is operating the camera. It looks like they added the UFO in after, and it looks like he's panning back and forth, and they're just filling in with the clip. Because it's just not normal. It's not how you would act. I'm telling you, it's just not normal. You don't move your camera to the right like that. This disappearing happened so fast, you would sit there for a second and gradually go over, knowing it's gone. Like, you don't, I don't know. You may think differently than me. I don't like it only because I don't know anything about that video. There's nothing on it. But we're going to authenticate that this is, what did he do? He didn't show us how it was real. See, that's the thing. Nobody shows us why it's CGI. How do you tell somebody it's CGI because I say so? No. Nobody has the time or the patience to sit through and watch why. That's why nobody gives a shit about telling you why. Right? Why is this CGI? Because the shake doesn't match. And then you'd have to show people how a real CGI video would be made, right? Because you want to make your case. So you got to show both sides. That takes time. People just don't care. Yeah, all right, I take your word for it. It's CGI. Don't take my word for it. It's just an opinion. But I'm telling you, we do not know the difference. It's very hard to tell nowadays. Now, that video looked real. But I didn't like the way the camera looked, and it just felt off. And I usually go with my gut on these. All right. Sorry. I want it to be. Aliens apply to just about everywhere, everything, to every part in the world, you could say, right? Like demons. They're everywhere now. And it makes you wonder if UFOs and aliens, excuse me, are really a cross section of science and religion. I don't know. It sure feels that way. Doesn't it feel like we're in that realm right now? Demons and angels. I've been talking about that for 20 years. Angels and demons could be aliens. Why not? What do aliens do? Come and go. What do ghosts do? Boppity bop. Same thing. How do ghosts talk to us? Or with an EVP, but it's magic, right? A lot of the times we don't hear it, but sometimes we do hear, hello. Let me ask you something. Why is it ghosts always go to get out? Why? Why? I have a really interesting theory on why we see apparitions. But it can't be valid. See, I think we are creating these things. and projecting them in our world. And I don't think we see it unless we take a photograph of it or we happen to be at the right place at the right time, because it's at the speed of thought. You know those black shadows that go, that's your mind thinking, oh God, if a ghost came by and da 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 da, and all of a sudden the ghost, because you created it. I did that experiment, the thought to camera, where I made an image of a square show up on the camera after 45 minutes of trying. Finally happened. And then other shapes showed up that I thought of, which I can't wait to show people, because when you're doing this, like if this was a regular, if it was this camera, right? Look at what I'm doing. It's right near my head, right? A lot of the times I have the screen open, do this. You're the tripod and you're looking through the viewfinder like I do. You're really basically almost touching it, and your brain waves are going in. And what I'm thinking in my mind is, I want to see an alien. I want to see a UFO. I want to see a dot. I want to see a fleet. I want to see a planet. I want to see a comet. I want to see a shooting star. I want to see something I haven't seen. And then it happens. I don't know. No aliens, but the dreams that, I don't know. See, I am, right now I'm at a crossroads. I am in a, and I don't know about you. This is the first time I've ever been confused in this field. Not knowing if we are part of something that, we just can't see, or they don't want us to see, or it's like the Wizard of Oz or a Matrix reality. But the government definitely doesn't want it getting out, whatever it is. Yet they want us to believe in hearsay, at least recently. In the old days, in the 80s, 70s, before the 90s, I think people were more legitimized on the news, even though there was this theme of craziness and the unexplained in the middle of nowhere with, Jeb and the farmers. There was still some sort of professionalism back in the day where it was really taken kind of seriously if it happened in your town. When the Phoenix Lights happened, I think that was the last of, now, I think it was the beginning of how the news, the media will treat UFOs and sightings of that nature from here on out, unless something changes. They treated people like shit. Francis Barwood tried getting an investigation going, and they said, nah, we already figured it out. Sorry. She's like, but the public, I get calls day after day, all day, hundreds of calls. People want to know. Well, we'll take it into consideration, they told her, and they ignored her. It was a joke. And the sighting at 10 o'clock was flares, the one that you all saw, but they made it out to be the UFO. Why? Because it was cool and it was a distraction from the reality. That's why the Maryland bombing range thing, people dropped the flares on their way out. They say, we can't land with flares. We have to let them all go. Never heard of that. Why? Why can't you land with flares? Have you ever heard of that? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, but the government needs to keep it secret. Any of them, all of them do. And I'll tell you this, I don't think there's anything alien at all. I think it's all here. Hey, I just watched a mini documentary about humans and dinosaurs together at the same time. There's a lot of it. As a matter of fact, I think I want to do a show on that and also make a little documentary, like a 30-minute thing on it. This was amazing. You know, the footprints 400 million years ago, human footprints, dinosaur footprints together, side by side, unearthed in a cave that was unearthed and has been in the same place for over 400 million years. It looked like they just stepped on the beach yesterday. Crazy shit. How does that happen? How? And not only was this, both of the prints so good, they even saw the fingerprints, the scaling of the finger in the paw and or whatever in the dirt, in the sand or whatever. Pretty cool. Clay, I don't know. It's an amazing find. And all of this stuff, things that are under the Sphinx and in the pyramids. Did you know the pyramids were, what were we told? They're the resting places for the kings, right? The pharaohs or whatever. Nope. Not at all. That's what the Egyptians said when they walked up and found the pyramids there. They said, oh, this must be, I don't know if that's true. If the Egyptians, wait, it's only been 150 years. I'm getting it wrong somewhere in there. But it's only been the last 150 years that we've been saying Egyptians. Oh, I think it was an archaeologist said, it must be the Egyptians' tombs, and all that. But there's no proof of that. There's nothing in any of the tombs that show. They've never found a mummy, a mummified pharaoh or king or whatever the hell you call them. We've been lied to. Why? Because maybe they're not all human. Maybe they're part human, just like they changed the Sphinx from the dog, Anubis, to Pharaoh with the headdress on. Do you see? Oh. They gotta lie. Why? Because we can't handle the truth. Who determines that? Humans determine that. No? Secret cabal. Illuminatis. See where we're going now? And why? Why? Because this is the way it's been for billions of years. Bullshit. I really want to know the truth. It pains me to not know. Doesn't it bother you that we don't know what the real truth is? What if the earth was twice as big as we're being told? It isn't? No, we would have found out about that. Right? Somebody would have told us the truth. I don't know. All right. So listen to this. Aliens are all over the world, every part.
By NASA would cover up and produce fake footage from something like the ISS, and every single one of them rhymes with aliens. Because if there's any type of aliens going on up here, it's very possible that they are up there in that fucking space station, or they're or like they could be, like, I don't know. And I'm not saying I think they are for sure. I'm just saying that people tend to look at a piece of evidence.
Right. You know how those people are supposedly stuck up there and can't come home, but yet they were able to send the other astronauts home? There might be aliens up there. They captured it, and they're keeping it hostage on the space station.
Evidence and jump too quickly on the one explanation that they're sure is right. And sometimes there's other explanations. And aliens apply to so many parts of our world, like demons. Sound very much like the UAP phenomenon to me. right? A lot of these religious beliefs sound very much like explainable just with different wording by UAP phenomenon, as in some of these aliens, we seem to be being told that they communicate telepathically. They have energetic ability, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point where I'm suspecting that we're going to be finding out that religion is like humans trying to interpret these phenomenon over millennia in all the human ways we would, and telling stories about them. And I'm not saying that God's not real. I'm saying God is real.
Right.
And that does not diminish God at all. I almost think it makes God more important and more powerful to understand, because from my understanding, correct me if you have a different one, it sounds like we're getting a lot of reports that are cross-corroborating that there's more than one thing going on here. It's not all aliens are the same, and it's not some of them might be us from the future, some of them might be us from under the water, some of them might be other species. It's really hard to pin down like what all these phenomenon are, but they're definitely not just made up.
Right. They're not. Did you hear what he said? Oh, the aliens probably living amongst us in the water and the moon. They're everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere you want them to be, they'll be there because it's cool, man. No proof. I don't know. I think the moon is the key. I think the moon holds the secrets. Not Mars. Mars has secrets, but the moon is guarding secrets. My opinion. I think if we go there, we can find a secret entrance if we look hard enough. I think it's camouflaged into the actual surface, fake rocks to make it look like. I mean, we saw, if anybody's seen that movie where they faked the moon landing, and the rocks look like real rocks and they're just styrofoam. It's amazing. However, once that secret comes out, the whole thing has to go with it. I don't see what's so bad. What's the worst that can happen? What are they afraid of? I really need to know. Like, why? Aliens are here, Ma. Oh, that's great. What do you want for breakfast? Same thing. Did you see that they really can read our minds? Wow. Do you want bacon or sausage? Yeah, bacon. And they say that they actually can disappear and cloak and all that stuff. Do you want orange juice or milk? I'll have orange juice. Yeah. And I think they might turn on us. Well, if they do, at least you have the 38. That's the conversation. 38? Your father's 38. I go, who uses 38? Against aliens? That won't even pierce their armor, Ma. What are you, crazy? They're demons, Ma. Oh, that's nice, sweetheart. Do you need a napkin? Hey, it was my mom's birthday today. That's right. 82. Yeah, mine's in 2 days. Monday. Yeah. Everybody's getting old today. All right. You got to see this. This is amazing. The next few videos I have are pretty cool. This is what they are calling, and I think this is bullshit. This can't be real, what I'm about to show you. Fallen angel technology. FAT. Ready? Set? And this comes from Newsbreak. It's an Android news app. Go.
And tell me if this doesn't blow your mind. That's a human hair right there. This is the Apple CPU, the little chip that's in your phone or your computer? Yeah, watch it and tell me this is not fallen angel technology. I don't know what to say.
I don't like this.
Because nobody can make something like this. Not even a laser can shoot down that far and create something like this. Yep, just keep watching. We're going way deep.
Come on, man. This isn't cool. This can't be true.
Oh yeah, we're not done yet. It goes further.
No. What?
Yep.
What?
And we hit the bottom, finally.
Come on.
This is just, it blows my mind.
Oh, thanks, Jeanette.
I can't even fathom it. I can't understand it. But that's exactly what
Did you
fallen
see
angel
this?
technology does. You can't even imagine. You can't imagine it. Can't create it.
How? How? I don't get it. So weird. Jeanette, thanks. Hold on. Ma! Jeanette! Birthday! You! Happy! Okay! She said thank you, and she'll send 13 donuts. Donuts? All right, you want to hear some cool shit? Dr. Greer is the best. He's saying Dr. Kirkpatrick. Oh, I love it. I love this. Should be the show tomorrow. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow may be the day that I do the special members show because you guys hit that goal. Oh, let's hope it's clear tomorrow. Greer is saying Dr. Kirkpatrick has committed multiple felonies. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. This is from Red Panda Koala on X. Listen to Greer. Be a little queer. Nice belly, bro.
Dr. Kirkpatrick, who is the head of Arrow, has committed multiple felonies. And I'm making a statement here. It's a strong statement. And I can tell you there are firsthand people corroborating this. So we have, and you'll see it in our archive, the Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive, free to anyone who wants to get in there, dpiarchive.com. 35 years of evidence and information in there. Nobody reads it because nobody reads. It's politically incorrect to read. But if you still read, it's all in there. Now, what you'll find is there was a letter from the chair and co-chair of Senate Intelligence Committee castigating Arrow and Dr. Kirkpatrick because they knew he was sanitizing his reports of the actual evidence and testimony of people like Michael Herrera. They later issued a public report without naming Herrera and totally falsified what he said that was. They said he saw an extraterrestrial vehicle when he clearly said it was man-made, staffed with people that looked like special projects humans, some kind of special operations group, but private. They didn't have any military insignia. So this has happened. And here's the problem. He didn't know this. A lot of the people who were brought through and referred over from Senate Intel and Armed Services were guys I brought there, but he didn't know that. And we were watching. And so
look at what he's doing. What is he? He's holding himself up. This is the weirdest body language I think I've ever seen. He is taking control, is what this means. And he is trying to hold himself to not say anything wrong, is what I think. And what Greer is saying is weird because what a dick he is for sending spies to gather intel on Kirkpatrick. Is that what I'm hearing? So let's make sure we heard that correctly.
humans, some kind of special operations group, but private.
Hold on,
They'd
let's
filed
hear it.
a public report without naming Herrera and totally falsified what he said that was.
So he just said that Kirkpatrick falsified everything Herrera said and was getting rid of valid evidence proving UFOs and aliens. That's where we just left off. Go.
They said he saw an extraterrestrial vehicle when he clearly said it was man-made, staffed with people that looked like special projects humans, some kind of special operations group, but private. They didn't have any military insignia. So this has happened. And here's the problem. He didn't know this. A lot of the people who were brought through and referred over from Senate Intel and Armed Services were guys I brought there, but he didn't know that. And we were watching. And so the things they shared in the skiff, couldn't come out, right? But
what does that mean?
I knew because I was their original debriefer. And so, bang, this got reported back to the chairs of the committee, and they wrote this letter, admonishing. But that continued.
Wait a minute. So Greer, unbeknownst to Kirkpatrick, had guys that he had brought in, yet Kirkpatrick brought them in not knowing they were Greer's guys. And as Greer made it sound like we were hoping this was going to happen, and we watched what he did and reported back to me. And then Greer says the one thing that makes him a felon. He knows what went on in the skiff. Oh, I know because I was the lead or whatever he said, or I was something or another, right? Listen.
So the things they shared in the skiff, couldn't come out, right? But I knew because I was their original debriefer.
But I knew because I was their original debriefer? But he shouldn't know what was said in the skiff. He only knows what he debriefed them on. He's trying to get out of, he just caught himself in a lie and he can't get out of it, and he's trying to. And if you watch it again, it's funny how he caught himself. That's what this is. You see how body language works? Man, that's amazing.
Watching. And so the things they shared in the skiff, couldn't come out, right?
See how he's pausing? See, couldn't come out, right? Search for answer, compute, must sound smart.
But I knew because I was their original debriefer. And so, bang, this got reported back to the chairs of the committee, and they wrote this letter, admonishing. But that continued and continued and continued, so much so.
Wow. Greer just screwed up. He's just as guilty.
Oh, there's a man who received a multi-million-dollar contract I've met with recently, and he had set up sensors and tracking, daytime, radar, signals intelligence, photographic of these UAPs. And he had about 1.5 terabytes of data, gave it over to Arrow and to Dr. Kirkpatrick, and it vanished. The new director can't even find it. It was never provided over.
What if it was never, ever existing? How's that? See, this is where Greer needs to show that evidence and back up the claim that there really was that evidence. See, this is why I don't like it. This is why he needs to be talking in front of Kirkpatrick when he does this. I know he's probably asked, and he maybe turned down the interview or turned down any thoughts or questions to answer. I would too, because I don't trust Greer or anybody, for that matter, who's going to do a piece on me. See, Greer can't prove that there was evidence. Because Kirkpatrick is going to say, we didn't get any, dude. So if they mailed it, if they sent it, if it was dropped off and it didn't get to Kirkpatrick, could it be possible it was intercepted and somebody took it before Kirkpatrick had a chance to see it, giving him, what do they call that when you don't know and somebody says, we don't want you to know because this way you really don't know and you can't answer. Well, what is that called? Shit. But that's what they did. They saved Kirkpatrick, but Greer thinks it was thrown away, ignored, burned, or whatever. Show us that evidence. Maybe I'll believe you. See? It's not that hard. Now, Greer wants us just to believe him, believe his word that actually happened. Works both ways.
To the oversight committees. This is something we're in the process of fixing. So you cannot be set up and receive millions of dollars in taxpayers' money with the mandate to honestly investigate something and then end up being a cover-up artist, which is what Dr. Kirkpatrick did. This is why most of the whistleblowers I know wouldn't touch that office with a 10-foot pole, because the people over the last 3 years that we brought through there saw how their evidence.
Okay. Now, I have to play fair. Let's say Greer's right. And Kirkpatrick did cover it up. It's pretty bad. But I want to see the paper trail. There's no paper trail. So it's just he said, she said. And maybe that's something Kirkpatrick knew. Hey, you don't email it, you send it over through a courier or through a third party. I didn't get it. He said, she said. So Greer needs to show that they sent it, that it was, or get us the witness that sent it over to the debriefer. It's so easy for Greer. I don't think Greer's wrong, though. When it's all said and done, if that stuff did make it to Kirkpatrick, most likely, was told to not accept anything from Greer. I bet you that's it. Why doesn't Kirkpatrick just say, I can't use this stuff? Just tell Greer I can't use it. I don't know, man. Communication is king. When there's no communication, then we got corruption. And when there's corruption, well, there's lies. And when there's lies, there's always money involved.
The testimony was either covered up or distorted, deliberately distorted, factually distorted. And that is a felony, because you're reporting falsely back to the Congress. And there's a law mandating, here's what you're doing. So this is why, I talk to some of the people in law enforcement.
It's only a felony if you get caught.
Enforcement, federally. I go, hello, anyone want to enforce the law? Right? Because if I were to pull a stunt like that, I'd be in shackles, right? So right. Why are these bad actors immune from lying to Congress, falsifying reports?
Because they're actors.
Whatever it is. So that's a big problem. So whatever, how do you know they're lying?
Because their mouths are moving. How do you know they're lying? Je ne peux dare que dona masina makakali alon manakoche. Cinque piche otto. You know? Yeah, you do. Ooh, I want to show you this. UFO on video from World News, But this is a good one.
No sé si se puede ver, ahí se puede ver, ahí va. Ese orbe se coloca en una nueva fisura que se abre. Ahí está posicionado, ve, ahí está. Es que no se puede bien por la imagen, pero ve cómo se empieza a mover. Y está como monitoreando el volcán. Ahí está. Me voy a acercar rápido para que se pueda apreciar, pero como es en una pantalla, se distorsiona la imagen.
Is this not the worst video quality you've ever seen?
Es este que está ahí. Se cambió de posición.
All right. First
lo
of
hace.
all, I can't keep playing this. I didn't realize it was going to look that bad. I think that's drones. Anyway. All I got to say about that. All right, I got another couple cool videos here. Oh yeah, here it is. I saved that video about the dinosaurs with humans. Let's see how accurate I was in repeating that to you. This is the hidden truth about dinosaurs. In 3, 2, and go.
Running through town called the Paluxy River. Back in 1908, the river flooded, ripped off a 2-foot layer of limestone and moved it 20 miles downstream. Underneath was another layer of limestone, so it's no big deal. But that layer underneath had contained hundreds of dinosaur footprints. Roland Bird was in charge of the group of guys digging out the tracks, and he reported there were 15 to 20 inch long, clearly defined human footprints with the dinosaur tracks.
Impossible.
One of the best human tracks still had the dermal ridges, I mean, like the fingerprints on the toes. You could see them, they were extremely clear for the first few months. We sell castings of one of the human tracks. It's a size 24. The man's stride between steps was about 6 or 7 feet. I would rip my britches every time trying to do that. They sawed one of the tracks across the toes. Looking at it endways, you could see there were depressions where the toes had squeezed the mud down, distorting the lamination lines.
Yeah, wow.
These are not carved in, they're not erosion marks, they're compression prints. Quite obviously. This guy said, finding dinosaur and human footprints together would counter evidence that humans evolved long after dinosaurs. I agree. And would back up the claim that all species, including man, were created at one time. I agree. It sure would back up that claim. They don't want that claim to get out.
I'm not so sure everything was created at one time, because we see new species being born every week here, every day. So I know, what happened was, it wasn't that everything was created at that time. It was just, that's what was needed at the time. That's what was created for them. Right? I don't know if it's a Christian video. Let me see. It is from... Yeah, it doesn't say. Let me see here. Hold on. Oh, wait. Entertaining important information is what it's called. Entertaining important information. But that is from Newsbreak, not YouTube. Well, maybe you can find it. It's still interesting. I'm going to hold on to that for a second. I got another video here. Here we go. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Queen Elizabeth. Oh, this is amazing. If this is what I think it is, this is really, wow. Shimini, Shimina, and Goop.
3 things that will be revealed after our deaths that exist now.
What do you mean?
What?
There is a letter from Queen Elizabeth written to the mayor of Sydney, and she says, please don't open this letter until 2085. And it's like hidden in it's being held in a like secret vault in Sydney, Australia.
Interesting.
Wow.
It'll sign Elizabeth. Is it
What the hell? Why? I wouldn't wait. I would open it. Are you kidding me?
going to be revealed like something big? But then there's a movie called 100 Years.
Watch this.
The movie you'll never see.
Ew.
But it's starring John Malkovich, and it's to be released in theaters or to the public in 2115.
Wow.
They filmed it in 2015, and no one will see it.
I never heard of this movie. I never, ever heard of this.
Yeah.
until 100 years goes by.
Lame.
What if they know exactly what happens to us
Lame.
and they just made it?
What
into
if
a
John
movie?
Malkovich is a time traveler?
Weird.
And then the last thing, which was super weird, Jackie Kennedy's bloody pink suit, the suit that she was wearing
Yeah.
when JFK was shot, it's been held in a vault, secret. Like, no one's allowed to see it. And they said they will release it to the public October 26, 2103.
Weird. Why? Why?
Alien blood.
Don't know.
Because if they do DNA, they're going to find out that that wasn't really JFK. JFK was never killed. They tricked everybody. That was the mask. He was wearing a mask, that person. JFK is fine. Oh, yeah. I don't know. But that would be really cool if he was. And that was just a guy who played him, tricked everybody, wore, they have those masks that the CIA makes. They look like regular people up close. You can't tell. I played the video the other day. The CIA has the technology to make a mask that can alter your face and nobody would tell, even up close. It's amazing. There was a video showing that Joe Biden had a double. Like, you could see the wrinkling on the back of his neck, like the mask was too loose. It wasn't tightened enough. And then you see a video where the Pope, it looks like the Pope, the guy pulls his nose way out. It's a mask. You guys seen that video? It's old. Very scary. You just can't trust the government. And the government will do anything they can to keep the UFO secret. It may not be because they want to. It's because they're ordered to. And whoever's making these decisions, whether it be a cabal of the Illuminati 4, or it's just the right thing to do, and sooner or later, maybe later, there will be disclosure. But it won't be on the government's terms. It'll be on the aliens' terms. And then guess what happens? Right after we find out, extinction level event. We don't get to enjoy anything of what we learned. Sad. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you. Do you remember the submarine that imploded and killed 6 people, I believe? 4 or 6 people? They'd have a computer makeup of it. Check this out. It sucks. It looks so real, too. But when this event happened, it happens within a split second. The implosion is wickedly fast. These people didn't even know what hit them. They had not even a freaking millisecond to react. Not even a cat would have reacted. Sad, sad day. Can't trust the Vatican either, that's right. Hey, Metalhead, how are you? Marky Derry, how you do? Troy. McGurk, 72, how you do? Isn't that crazy? It makes me claustrophobic watching that. Yeah, I feel like I have to take a deep breath. All right, well, that's it for tonight. I got to get going. I said I would do at least an hour. We went 1 hour and 5. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back tomorrow for the members, 7 o'clock. Okay, and things are going good. And Rich Saves America is on tomorrow night at 9. So that'll be a good show. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to enjoy this weekend like it's the last few days of being 56. 57. I don't want to be 57 anyway. I was thinking about, God, I would give anything to be 52 again. Every minute. I swear to you, I am enjoying life to the fullest as much as I can, and I hope you're along for the ride with me. As much as I bitch and complain, I'm as happy as I can possibly be with the circumstances that surround us. We all have our problems, right? We all go through things. It's just how you bounce back, how you react, what you believe in. Do you have people around you that can make you feel better? Do you need people around you to make you feel better? Or do you need silence? Because it is golden. I'm one for silence. I don't even watch TV. I don't listen to the music. All I do is just be until I can be better. So I want you guys to be. And if you don't believe in God, believe that the universe is like a God, always listening. Talk to it. You'll be surprised what you get in return. All right? And one other thing. Truthology for ufology. Man, we do it for you. And one more thing. If you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out. All right, Alien. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Alien bless.
There's a thing. It's rotating.